Transitioning your child to school can be an exciting but stressful time. We want you to know we are here for you and look forward to fostering a relationship of mutual care and respect as your child embarks on this new chapter in their life. Given the current situation, we want to provide you with information that would normally be covered during our evening session. Education is more successful when there is a partnership between home and school. For some students, their individual strengths and needs require a team approach to ensure a smooth transition to school. In the CCRCE, this slide lists some of the people who might be involved in your child's transition to school. At the center of every team is you and your child. Your knowledge and understanding of your child's strengths and the supports they need will provide valuable information to the school team. Family-based or regional supports may be consulted by the school team. Regional team members include the Student Services Coordinator for the region and the Student Services Consultant for each family of schools. The autism support specialists and teachers in each family take on the additional role of transition support for students in the CCRCE, including those children without a diagnosis of autism. Other staff may become involved as part of the program planning process. They include learning support teachers, educational assistants, school counselors, social emotional learning teachers, school speech-language pathologists, psychologists, and administrators. If additional services are required to support your child, they may be accessed through a referral from the school team for the behavior specialist or occupational therapy and physiotherapy through the Department of Health. These are some of the services available to support students with and without special medical, physical, behavioral, and educational needs. Currently in the CCRCE, we have about 6,000 students from primary to grade 12. Some examples of services we provide include consultation regarding students' programming, a lending library of materials and resources to support teachers, professional development and training for staff and caregivers. Transition support is available for students as they move between grades and as they change schools, such as when they move from elementary school to high school. The CCRCE has created an information guide for parents, so you may have a resource about your child's transition to school. A copy will be provided to you by your developmental interventionist or clinical interventionist. The transition guide outlines the program planning process used at the school level when students require additional support. It also includes an explanation of the usual timeline for transition planning and activities leading up to the start of school in the fall. There are optional planning pages to enter information about your child's specific needs leading up to school entry. Our first step in supporting your child is to hold a transition meeting. Meetings are typically attended by parents or guardians, transition team members, the school principal, teacher, and the learning support teacher. The school-based speech-language pathologist and educational psychologist may also be in attendance, as well as members of outside organizations your child may be involved with. These include EIBI, Developmental Intervention, Occupational Therapy, Physiotherapy, and APSI. This is what you can expect at your first school meeting. The meetings will usually last about 30 to 45 minutes. It will start with introductions around the table, so you may meet the other transition team members, including your child's new teacher. Discussions will begin with sharing your knowledge of your child's strengths, areas for development, and the strategies that have worked for you to help your child at home, daycare, or pre-primary. Professionals such as your interventionist will share information about your child's goals and recent progress. With your approval, any intervention reports, such as early intervention, speech-language pathology, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, will be discussed and copies of those reports may be given to the school. Plans may be made in the meeting for having your child participate in primary orientation day and making school visits to prepare them for where they will be in the fall. Other plans may include your child's transportation from home to school and their starting schedule. For example, Many children have alternative starting dates and school entry times so that they may enter school when there is the least amount of noise and confusion. We expect many of you will have lots of questions and concerns. You may find it helpful to create a list of questions you would like to ask during the meeting, and you may fill out the student profile workbook with information you would like the school to know about your child. We will have lots of questions as well. The student profile workbook has been created so we can get to know your child and their many strengths and areas for growth. The more we know, the better we can provide appropriate supports for your child. We encourage all parents and caregivers to fill this out and share the completed booklet with us at the meeting. If we are not able to provide you with a paper copy of the workbook before the school meeting, you may find it helpful to look at a digital copy available from your clinical interventionist and jot a few notes down to discuss at the meeting. Alternatively, you may share the workbook with us following the meeting when you are able to complete it. The program planning process is a team approach. The team works together to share information and plan learning opportunities and supports to meet your child's individual needs. The stages in the process and the roles and responsibilities of various team members are outlined in the Program Planning Process Guide for parents and guardians. The process works towards creating an educational program that is specific to your child's unique needs, with the goal of giving them an education in which they are included with their peers, using supports that are only as special as necessary. Transition planning for students begins when they enter school in grade primary. However, your child's strengths, challenges, and support strategies are considered throughout their time at school. Transition planning occurs as your child moves between teachers and grades, when they move from elementary to middle or high school, and in preparation for graduation. You may obtain further information about the steps in the program planning process and transition planning process for students with special needs by consulting with your school team or accessing resource documents available on the Nova Scotia Department of Education and Early Childhood Development website. The documents may be viewed online and they are available to download to your computer or device. Beginning in the fall of 2020, the Nova Scotia government introduced the Inclusive Education Policy, which is the framework within which your child's education will be provided. This document, available on the Nova Scotia Education website, describes our approach to education. As part of the new policy, stages of the program planning process, staff titles, roles and responsibilities will be renamed and possibly redefined. While the new policies are gradually introduced, there may be a period of time in which use of older and new terminology may overlap. If you find any of the terminology, roles, and stages of the transition and planning process confusing, or have any questions that would help you understand the supports available for your child, please do not hesitate to contact your child's teacher or the school administrator responsible for student services. That might be your school's principal or vice principal. We hope you found this information helpful. We're excited to begin this journey with you and your child, and we look forward to meeting you soon.